so fast and not knowing what's going on, it was scary.
Emotional witness accounts were heard today as the Corey Blunt trial continues.
Smoke is still burning from a fire that was started Wednesday morning that left some store owners with nothing. I'll tell you what these store owners are doing to move on next.
It's a resource drain on the police department.
Find out how a new grant could help the ACCPD deal with mental health issues next.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College at the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
The trial continues for an accused killer in Athens, Clark County. I'm Kara Murphy.
And I'm Adriana Vicuna. 4 new witnesses were brought in today in the murder trial of Corey Blunt. The prosecution says they confirmed the details of a murder in May of last year. Reporter Aaron O'Brien sat in on the testimonies as bystanders recalled the horrific night. She's at the courthouse now. Aaron, who is Blunt accused of killing?
Blunt is accused of fatally shooting Derek Merritt and injuring Jamaris Walter in a fight outside of a club. Today, several of the women involved in the brawl, the doctor who treated Walter, and the woman driving the getaway car all saw much of what happened. Santana Houseworth says she was out enjoying her sister's college graduation party at a local club in May 2014. She testified that as she and her friends were headed to their car at the end of the night, a brawl broke out. Things escalated quickly.
She was upset, so she was like, get my pistol out of the car, get my strap.
The prosecution showed Houseworth and 2 of her friends pictures and graphic videos of the night. They testified to the same thing. The defendant asked for Taisha Evans to stay on recall after she says she never spoke with police about that night.
I remember telling the police that you heard someone say that was Keisha trying to shoot at those girls.
No, I never talked to the police.
Atlanta resident Shemalee McLean was also called to the witness stand this afternoon. The mother of 5 had a more emotional testimony as she admitted she was driving the green Mustang that was seen fleeing the scene. She says that she had no idea where the shots came from.
It just happened so fast and not knowing what's going on, it was scary.
And so,
First off, I want to apologize. The name of that second witness you saw is Taisha Edens, not Evans, as I had previously stated. The state brought in 2 more witnesses after lunch, and they're currently wrapping up the charge conference. Closing arguments will be tomorrow at 8:30.
Thank you, Aaron. We'll keep you updated as the trial goes on.
Children's artwork and family photos are just a few of the things some store owners are trying to recover today from a fire that started Wednesday morning in Commerce. It took out at least 4 businesses. Reporter Janae James is live in Commerce now to find out how these businesses plan to move forward.
That there's not much left over from this fire. I spoke to the owner of one of these stores. She was here earlier today trying to find anything of value that she could take home. Brandy King worked for World Finance for almost 11 years. She had memories in her office that reminded her of home, but she was unable to get to them today.
Had some file cabinets in the back that the fire department had told us was still pretty intact, so we came up trying to get those, but whenever we arrived, the fire department let us know that they were back on fire.
The fire that destroyed all her memories started sometime after 4 a.m. on Wednesday morning. Because of the intensity of the fire, it took firefighters many hours before they left.
They were here till 4 o'clock that afternoon. It was anywhere from 8 to 10 hours before they had the fire under control. And we had departments from our area departments. We had Maysville, Plainview, Jefferson, Nicholson, and the Jackson County CI Fire Department.
Lee Howington, who owns Hometown Pool and Spa across the street, witnessed how upset some of these owners were.
They're very upset because, it is fall, so Christmas is not too far away, and a lot of families depend on their store just like I depend on my store.
We just have to start fresh and try to rebuild and get as strong as we were prior to 4 a.m. yesterday morning.
I spoke with the fire chief earlier today, and he said that the incident report is not finished yet, but we will keep you updated if any new information comes. Live in Commerce, Janae James, Grady Newsource.
A $10,000 reward is being offered for any information that leads to the arrest and conviction of whomever is responsible. The State Fire Marshal Office says you can contact them at 404-656-2064.
Some Danielsville residents will get some help cleaning up their properties this weekend through the help of the weekend citywide cleanup. The group Keep Madison Beautiful and the City of Danielsville are partnering to help those who may not have the physical or financial resources to clean their yards. Danielsville Mayor Todd Higgins tells us in an event that not only benefits residents, but the rest of the community.
Any type of community organized groups that can come in and help these people to brighten up the area that they live in, to make that look nicer at a no-cost deal. It's a win-win for everybody.
If you or someone you know in Danielsville needs help cleaning up your area, please contact City Hall. The event will start Friday, October 23rd and last through Sunday, the 25th.
25% of inmates in the Athens-Clarke County Jail are on medication for a mental health condition. A new grant from the U.S. Department of Justice could lower that number. Reporter Rayleigh Rozier is in the newsroom with more. Rayleigh, how will the ACCPD use this grant?
Well, the $150,000 grant would go toward funding a project called the Justice and Mental Health Collaboration Program. The idea is to create a plan over 2 years that would keep those with a serious mental health condition from spending their lives in jails untreated. It instead would redirect them to the appropriate health care facility where they could be rehabilitated. Now, I spoke with some members of the criminal justice system in Athens who tell me a new way of thinking about mental illness in Athens could mean less crowding in the jails, a more efficient use of the police department's resources, and a higher number of individuals who can once again become contributing citizens. You may not think of this place as a mental health department, but the Athens-Clarke County Police Force receives 6,000 calls per year involving citizens with mental illness.
Oh, absolutely, as we deal with it every day.
Assistant Chief Carter Green says arresting these people is not always the best solution, and it's a time-consuming process, but officers don't have much of a choice.
It's a resource drain on the police department, and we don't have a lot of options when we deal with consumers with mental health problems. We either arrest them right now, or sometimes we have the ability to get them to the hospital. Those are the two options that we have.
The department hopes to create a third option using a $150,000 grant from the U.S. Department of Justice. ACCPD would use the money to work with agencies out of the University of Georgia to create a plan over 2 years to divert those with mental health conditions to alternative facilities. A possible solution is to mirror the jail diversion program in Bexar County, Texas. Green says the ACC program will look at creating a 14 to 16 bed facility where officers can drop off people who they believe may have a mental health condition. Mental health providers at the facility could then evaluate them for a period of up to 3 days, and if necessary, direct them to an appropriate mental health care provider without charges being pressed. The Clarke County Jail is one of countless facilities across the nation struggling to meet the needs of individuals with mental health conditions that may have committed a crime. Matthew Greifey, an attorney that teaches a crime class at UGA, says the issue can be traced back to budget cuts for mental health programs in the 80s.
And police officers were the ones who are now dealing with people with serious mental health problems. So effectively, jails became the new institution, which they're not designed to do.
A team would officially begin working on a new plan in November after the grant is added to the budget at this next commissioners meeting. Now the ACC Commission still has to vote on whether or not to approve the grant, but I spoke with Mayor Nancy Denson and she told me she doesn't see any reason why it would not be approved. Live in the newsroom, Rayleigh Rozier.
The Athens-Clarke County Board of Commissioners meeting will be on November 3rd at 7 p.m. at City Hall.
A new UGA mascot will soon take the field. Q will assume his title as the Georgia Southern game after a 3-month-long audition for his new role. Q follows Russ, who is officially retiring as the Georgia Bulldog mascot after working 25 games. Director of Athletics Greg Margardi says Q has already proven to be up for the task as serving as the new mascot.
J Georgia.
J Georgia.
K Kike.
K Kike.
Coming up, we'll take you inside this unique classroom.
There will be a walk this Sunday to raise money for the Lorian Smith Center for Cancer Support in Athens. Organizers say the money will be used to treat hundreds of patients with breast cancer at little to no cost to them. Reporter Valerie Burgos spoke with two women whose lives have been affected by walks like this and how this disease has impacted them.
This is Lean Nagy. She is the office coordinator for the Lauren Smith Center. She's participated in this walk for the past 4 years. She says it is her way to remember the life of her husband, who passed away 5 years ago because of breast cancer.
I never walk the walk without thinking of him and so many others that we've lost and the others that keep fighting. So it's very personal for me. It's not just a job, and it's not something that I'm required to do by my job or anything. It's something I love to do.
She says the support from everyone that participates also makes her mourning a little more bearable.
To come out on a day where everybody is like-minded and everybody is out there to celebrate life, to remember those who we've lost, and to put our feet on the pavement to raise money, it's just nothing like it.
Lean is not the only one who's impacted by this event. Barbara Moritor is celebrating another year that she is able to participate. She is a bilateral cancer survivor.
2007, just before my 59th birthday. Wow. So I'm very blessed to have another birthday.
She still has scars from the chemotherapy she had to undergo while she was being treated. The vice president of the Athens Regional Foundation advises that every woman should get checked for breast cancer as early as they find necessary to.
Personally, I believe that a woman, she knows her body better than anyone. She also knows her family history, and that is a discussion that she should have with her doctor, and she and her doctor should make that decision on when's the best time for her to have a mammogram.
And as for the walk, she says it's an opportunity to educate others on the importance of breast cancer and the treatments available for it. This is Valerie Burgos, Grady News Source.
The walk will begin at the Lauren Smith Cancer Center on Talmadge Drive in Athens at 8 a.m. A small breakfast will be provided before the start of the walk. For more information and the map, you can visit our website, GradyNewsSource.com.
Everyone has a favorite school grade teacher, but one local teacher is truly making one for the books. Miss Michelle Freeman teaches special education in Oconee County and is our school's teacher of the year. Reporter Anna Clark went back to primary school to see what being in Miss Freeman's classroom is all about.
I would learn about weather and rain. Also on my Lego Star Wars game, I unlocked all my levels today.
These are just some of the kids that Miss Freeman gets to work with every day at Oconee County Primary School. It may look like she's just teaching a reading class here, but there is much more to it than meets the eye.
I get the pleasure of figuring out what their deficit areas might be and trying to target those deficit areas, make improvements in those areas, as well as try to teach them grade level standards.
She teaches kindergarten, first, and second grade students with special needs and says each student is unique in their own ways.
All these children have an identified special need, and they're all different.
Miss Freeman works in smaller groups to minimize distractions. To keep the kids' attention, Miss Freeman comes up with creative ways to help the students learn and even gives them breaks to let loose and show off their favorite dance moves. Can you tell me about Miss Freeman?
She's fun. She likes teaching us.
Yeah.
And she has to tell people if they are ready, and she gives us a Skittle.
Miss Freeman's inspiration for becoming a special needs teacher is someone very near and dear to her heart.
I started off with a brother who had a learning disability as well. I just saw what my parents did, and he's now an assistant principal at a school district.
She says teaching special needs can be challenging, but seeing her brother overcome his challenges shows that with consistency, progress can be made.
I know with a lot of work, and it does take a lot of work, but you know, anything's possible.
There is never a dull moment in Miss Freeman's class. Every day is something different. Anna Clark, Grady News Source.
Miss Freeman has been teaching for 10 years and says she is very thankful for the support that she receives from the other staff at the school.
Fall is in the air. I'll tell you more in your weather forecast next.
The The days are getting shorter and the leaves are changing colors.
Let's take a look at what temperatures you can expect to see this weekend.
I'm Ellen Cohen here with your Northeast Georgia weather forecast, and some trends you're going to start to see: a lot more clouds and a lot less sun. And those leaves are going to start changing to those beautiful fall colors. So, here's what your evening's going to look like tonight in Athens. Around 6 p.m. it'll still be sunny and around 74 degrees, but that's going to drop a good bit by 9 p.m. when it'll hit 62 degrees, and by 12 a.m. it'll go down to 57. And here's what your day is going to look like tomorrow. At 9 a.m. it'll be around 56 degrees, partly cloudy skies, but around noon, no worries, it's going to warm up a lot to 74 degrees and the sun will be shining. And by 3 p.m. it'll stay around 79 degrees. And here's what your overnight low temperatures are going to look like across Northeast Georgia. It's pretty similar across the board with an average of around 50 degrees, a little lower in Blairsville at 46 degrees. In Athens, it'll be 49 degrees, and in Augusta, it'll be a little higher at 53. And your high temperatures for tomorrow, again, pretty similar across the board with an average of 80, a little lower in Blairsville at 78, Athens, it'll be 81, and in Augusta, it'll be 82. So, your overnight low in Athens tonight, 49 degrees, and your high in Athens tomorrow is 81. Your 5-day forecast coming up, as you can see, it's starting to get a lot more cloudy as the week goes on, and the temperature will rise for a high of 81 tomorrow, but after that, the high temperatures are going down, but interestingly enough, the low temperatures are going up. Your leaf watch, well, the Georgia State Parks have been showing you where the fall leaves are starting to change colors. The Georgia State Parks has been conducting a leaf watch where they show you which parks are starting to sprout those pretty colorful fall leaves. And as you can see, a lot of those parks are right here in Northeast Georgia. Thanks for watching your weather. Ellen Cohen, Grady Newsource.
Tennis, soccer, baseball, and volleyball are all in action this weekend.
Savannah Wilson will have your weekend matchups next.
The UGA women's basketball team is spending the day in Charlotte for SEC Media Day today. I'm Savannah Wilson with your sports. Head coach Jody Taylor and seniors Shakobia Barbie and Tiaria Griffin flew out this morning and have spent today talking with the SEC Network about the upcoming season and posing for pictures like these for a photo shoot. The women's season tips off November 15th. The UGA soccer team kicks off the weekend Friday night in Nashville to take on Vanderbilt at 8 p.m. Bella Hartley says the team's goal is to score 9 total goals in the remaining 3 games of the season.
I think the big thing is definitely realizing like what's on the line right now and how we need to get these 3 points this weekend and 9 points in general in the last 3 games.
There are a couple of scenarios that could take place for the soccer team to make it to postseason play in Orange Beach. But the first thing that has to happen is for the Bulldogs to win at least 2 of their final 3 matchups. The Bulldogs are in action again on Sunday at Auburn at 3 p.m. The women's tennis team and UGA baseball are also in action this weekend. Women's tennis is hosting the ITA Southeast Regional Tournament, which will last through Monday. The players are excited to be back in action at the Dan McGill Tennis Complex.
Crowd, the energy, the Dan McGill Tennis Complex is something pretty special we have here, and we always have fans who come out to support us and family. We have a lot of family coming in this weekend, so I think it's just a special place.
Moving on right next door to the tennis complex to Foley Field. UGA baseball continues their Fall World Series for Game 2 on Saturday at 1 p.m. The black team currently leads the series after a win Tuesday night. Game 3 will follow on Sunday at 1 p.m. The football team is on a bye week, but Grady Newsource will begin Georgia-Florida coverage on Monday.
That's all the time we have for tonight. Check out GradyNewsSource.com to find our digital daily wrap.
And be sure to stay tuned for our post-show meeting directly following this newscast. Thank you and have a good night.